I got you. Yeah, I mean, this is bullet points because it's a long article from the Hollywood Reporter.
Right.
But there's some new reports of what's going on inside the offices of Lucasfilm, and these are just some of the main things I'm just gonna hit off right at the bat. Multiple films are in development from Star Wars that overlap characters and timelines that could impact the others from happening. Rey is a key character on several of these films. Some Lucasfilm directors are aware of what others are working on, while others are not. The OG trilogy is considered the Old Testament. You're being, in quotations, you're being asked to create the New Testament, and no one can agree on anything, and there's a lot of second guessing about meanings. Another source says Star Wars is a nostalgia-based enterprise, and they are running out of ways to create nostalgia. To make a standalone movies or continuing the Skywalker saga in any form is a fundamental question the company faces as it tries to move forward. TV side has a lot more freedom and is not having these problems. It's mostly facing the film side. That's a lot that we just kind of just went through there. But Obed, what the heck is going on
Okay.
at Lucasfilm?
I haven't watched that new trailer for Skeleton Crew, but that first one was real good. I'm really
Yeah.
interested in that. So, it would seem like TV where Filoni is involved, and
Favreau.
it seems like Favreau, yeah, and it seems like Kathleen Kennedy is a little bit more hands off when it comes to the TV stuff. Um, that seems to be running fine. Like I think Ahsoka was fine. Andor again excellent. Andor season two
Oh, yeah.
comes out April right next year. Very much,
April next year.
yeah, very much looking forward to that. And yeah, Skeleton Crew looks good. So when it comes to that, I'm good, right? When it comes to the movie, okay, yeah, yeah, Star Wars is a nostalgia based enterprise. Like, there's no question about it. That's that's it, right? We don't care about the new stuff. Like we don't want to see any. It kind of stinks that they're treating the old movies as the past, right? But like, where's Shadows of the Empire? Like, where are these stories that happen in between? And then we got I I don't want to play the game. I don't want to play Outlaws to get the in betweens, right? I can play the Jedi games, the Survivor and Fallen Order, right? Those are excellent. Those, it's great. But I don't want to go out of like the main media to get my stuff. I don't want to have to grab a book or something. And just give me a visual uh, nostalgia uh, trip. That's Star Wars, right? I think that was the key to um, the Force Awakens success, and they tried to treat it like the past, and they messed up after that.
Yeah.
Um, I they have to come to the realization that in order for them to capitalize properly on Star Wars, you need the nostalgia. I'm gonna give you a really good example, Joe. Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles. They're selling you the Mutant Mayhem, and they're selling you the new show and whatnot. They're selling you those toys, but they still have the classic toys in the shelves, right? And they have reproductions, and then they have the jumbos, and they have everything's back, right? So that's how you use a brand to your advantage, and that's something that Star Wars hasn't done. Like what do they need to produce like 48 million figures of like Rose? I wouldn't have done a single run. I was like, make it like one of those rare yeah, like if they want to succeed, make it a limited run. If you buy it, you buy it. If not, it's gonna be like Watto. Like, no one cares about
Oh,
Watto, right? Back in the when the prequels came out, make 100 Wattos. Don't make a million. then
all about
Watto's gonna be
celebration.
Watto's gonna be worth a bunch of money afterwards, and that's what you needed to do. But no, you go to like these clearance places and you see bins of all these Star Wars figures that no one wants, and at the same time, I try to go find a Vader figure, I can't find it because like they're
Mm,
not selling them, or maybe I'm
mm,
not looking in the right place, right? Or maybe
yeah.
I have to import it, or maybe I have to get it from a toy website that's it's good. I know I'm gonna get the product, but it has a little bit of a markup. That and that's fine when it comes to merchandising, but when it comes to the movies, which is where they move the money, right? Um, you it sounds bad, but nostalgia is your crutch in this case, and use it to your advantage, and you gotta use it. Like you can't. I Man, I don't know. It is again to me so mind-boggling that people want to like leave the old Star Wars stuff behind when that's what people want. Like, why are they so adamant and like, oh no, this is the past. We gotta leave it behind, and let's focus on the new things. Well, the new things are not selling. You gotta, man. It's so simple, Joe. Like I don't know. I don't. It's like if two dudes talking about it can figure it out. I mean, come on, guys. It's like, really, like it doesn't this. I don't have to be a long time Hollywood producer to know this. I don't need to have a degree in like film arts to know this. I don't need to have an economic degree to know that how to move money with these things, bro. It's easy. What's the problem, right? And that when you ask yourself that question, the problem is that they want to move away from the past, and they're tied to it. You know what? It's gonna take all of us. It's gonna sound dark, but it's gonna take my generation to just not be here anymore. So it's gonna take Disney another 40 years to get rid of us, and that way the newer generations could care about the newer stuff. But you can't wait 40 years to make money.
No, not at
You
all.
gotta make that money right away. So come on, guys. While we're here, you gotta use that nostalgia crutch, and it works like that in video games too. It's the same way, right? It's like every time it's like look at the when you every time they release a collection on like the Switch or PlayStation, like those Capcom collections that are coming out, the Contra collection, the Castlevania collection. Every time those things come out, they're huge hits because people remember that and people love that, and that's something that they don't don't have new products anymore, right? Technically, so they just go back to their nostalgia bubble, and that's great. Use it to your advantage. I don't know. I really don't know what the big deal is. I really it's all like ideological. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense at all. From a business standpoint, they're just wasting time, dude. Meanwhile, you over here, you gotta make money, and there's infighting because they don't want to follow the most logical course of action. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, well worded. I love that you covered from merchandise to films. Like I was just thinking just the film side problems, and you're not even wrong because it affects the greater business of what's going
right?
on. Like
Yeah,
you follow the money, you can follow what people are truly passionate about and what decisions they're going to make and why they would see more success in their films. When you look at even what merch is doing as well. I think like sometimes people undervalue those things. Sometimes execs just think we can use these projects to fund merchandise, and sometimes you can look at it both ways, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Like other than
And
other than Grogu, they have not had a single like merchandise hit at all in the since they bought Star Wars.
and that's exactly where I was gonna go when they were talking about specifically like, it's nostalgia based and like how you were saying like, no one cares about any of the new stuff. Like that I agree. And the only thing that is new that actually proves again the nostalgia point is Grogu. Because the whole thing with Grogu and the Mandalorian was that people started referring to him as Baby Yoda. Like because it
Exactly.
was leaning on Yoda
Exactly.
from like you took something you built a new foundation off of something that already existed.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like you weren't going in and reinventing the wheel. You just took something that was really awesome and now just add another layer to the lore. But they haven't done anything so far, thankfully, to undo the lore because we still don't know how he got here. And every little time they keep dropping little details, they're doing it in a tasteful way that keeps you interested. The whole how he survived Order 66 and things like that of that nature. And
Right.
is he a child of the Force? Is he a child of his species that we only know two of them that ever existed, from like live action canon? Those are cool stuff. But when I see things in here like saying, the OG trilogy is considered Old Testament, and that they're being told to create New Testament, and there's like no agreement on what that is. That's to be expected. Like there to me, like I actually don't look at that as like this is chaos at Lucasfilm. They don't know and no one can agree. Like without doxing myself, I know a little bit about marketing. And what I will tell you is at the end of the day, you try and get feedback from everybody and you try to look at something like high overview, the best ways possible to take people with all different backgrounds, with all different things to try and bring everybody together to all like one thing. And I'm going to tell you realistically, it is impossible to please everyone. There is
Absolutely.
just that is just absolutely true. And I'm not saying that Oba and I are saying to the people that you need to find a way to please all these fans. That by no means am I saying that, but what I am saying is when you take into account the major pain points and you say like, "Hey, I know that people will be mad if we do this thing." Don't even get close to it. Like you need to be able to, and then you lean more into this is what the audience are telling us, like you're saying, whether it be financially, verbally, all these things. Like these are things that they want. It's not that hard to give people what they want, and it's almost like sometimes it comes across like they're intentionally saying we don't want to give you what you want to spite you. That's a dangerous way because it almost
Right.
feels like
It
it's
it
like you're
does.
the enemy of the fans.
Yeah. It does.
That's what you come across, like the enemy of the people in that way.
There has been certain moments where it does seem
Right.
malicious. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're feeding now, like now you're feeding the mob of people. Like, why are they so angry? And you're like, well, you're literally throwing gasoline on fire. Like if people already like instead of trying to be like a true peacemaker and trying to find ways to do new stuff, but also be like, and I'm not saying it's easy with Star Wars, but there's certain things that I'm saying that are like you said, like are really key pain points that are obvious, and they just don't seem to look at it. I am hopeful. I am optimistic that if this is that they have a lot of rumors and news, this project and this movie, and things get canceled, and switching actors, switching directors and writers, whatever. But at the end of the day, there's only one project from a film wise that we know is literally just wrapped filming and is coming out, and that's the Mandalorian Grogu film.
Right.
Of all the projects, that's the one that I actually am the most excited for, anyways. So it's like I'm okay with this, right? But anything else, like if you're talking about Ray and you're talking about all these other things, keep taking your time to get it right. That's the message that they need to take back from all this. There is a way to do it right. I talk to enough people that say that they feel like they fumbled the bag with Ray, and yet they still find Ray to be interesting, meaning that there's a way to have a saving grace as time goes on. But that doesn't mean you
Okay.
just rush to just pump something out and then you fumble it again. Because if you double fumble, there's no recovery. Like there's no way around it. So yeah, I'm very very interested to see. I thought these reports was fascinating. The fact that we just got out of the whole Simon Kinberg rumors that maybe he's working on episodes 10, 11, 12, or maybe he's working on this prequel. Literally, deadlines had two sources inside of Disney told them two different things. So that's leads into the conversation here. They don't. There's not some directors talking to each other and they don't really know what's going on.
Right.
Man, crazy stuff. I think we're gonna have a lot more to talk about Star Wars very soon. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see for sure. Joel, are you ready to pay to fork up for DLC at the parks. So we already do. They already have park DLC. Is it gonna get worse? I don't know. It could potentially. Rumor is that they're still struggling finding a successor for my boy Bob Iger, and one of the names that got thrown out there was Andrew Wilson, the CEO of Electronic Arts. Um,
That's a choice.
let's not. Okay. First of all, we can't be as disingenuous as to think that Electronic Arts is a poorly run business, because it's not. They make money. They make money. They need to cut when they need to cut. They cut when they need to push. They push. When they want to sell you packets of like loot boxes for what used to be FIFA or whatever it's called now, they'll do it. They'll sell it. Right? They know what they're doing. My concern is the approach that Andrew Wilson could bring to Disney, and seeing that EA was a pioneer in the like DLC season pass, sort of like this like online pass type of movement, right? Like they were the first ones that sell you a game that would come with an online pass, and if you use that code and you sold the game, the next person that bought the game couldn't play online because you used your pass, and then that person would have to buy a pass to play online. So, like this guy, and that was John Riccatello's, but like before Andrew Wilson, right? Which is even more concerning at that time, right? I think that since Andrew Wilson joined EA, things have we don't hear a lot of bad mouthing about EA anymore. The eye is still there, but I think that it's moved on to like Ubisoft and PlayStation and Microsoft now to some extent. They own everything now, so whatever. But we've seen it like people don't hate on EA as much as they used to. Like back in the PS3 days, dude. Like we all hated EA. It was something else. But they turned around, right? And I think they have been they're a very profitable company. I think it's well run, and it's a well oiled machine, and they know how to do business and how to run their business not only internally but also with partners. Like they did it with Disney. We can't be as so blind as to think like those Jedi games. They're EA, right? EA made it happen. Where's Battlefront 3? EA, the heck, we're still waiting. But I think that from a business standpoint, I don't think that's a bad move, especially bringing in an outsider it could inject the energy that that Eisner had when he came on board, right? You're bringing someone from outside the company. That person's going to be in charge of doing the thing, sure, right? I think that Disney could benefit from that based on performances of everyone else that's on the list. I don't. My concern is that they're gonna monetize it even more.
Right.
Like it's already getting like there's already like park DLC again with Lightning Lane and all that. Yeah, there's park DLC, man.
That is a great, bro. That's a great title.
It's awful. You buy your park ticket, but you don't get a full experience. Still got to buy the DLC to be able to jump the lines, man. So that's my concern. My concern is that the company could take a turn into like even more to that extreme. Like it's pretty extreme now, and I freaking hate it, but it could take a turn. But on the other hand, it could benefit from someone from the outside coming in and bringing new ideas, fresh ideas. Hey, this is what we used to do. Let's
Yeah.
do this thing. Um, instead of like monetizing, uh, why don't you like bring it in from the outside? Like bringing in someone like Andrew Wilson is like, why don't we like gamify the parks? Like make it more of like a game instead of just going in and
Interactive.
right instead of just being there on a line for 3 hours, right? So it could there's pros and cons, right? Um, I joke, yeah, the Disney DLC, right? But it is a concern, but at the same time, I don't think it's the worst idea ever. I think it's I think we're good. I think that's a better option than Chapek at the end of the day. That's just me. So
Chapek ain't coming back, so
no,
there's
yeah,
only
yeah,
one way
no,
to find out.
no, bro. Screw that.
We will never know, at least to our ability, right? I don't think we'll ever know what happened, but whatever it was, the fact that in a matter of 48 hours that dude was gone after from a board meeting, it was bad.
That NDA has to be airtight, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, you're right. Like
Those
there's so much.
NDAs have to be like,
Whew,
bro,
like it was
bro,
egregious.
right, right. Yeah, but what do you
Whew.
think, dude?
Yeah, I was shocked when you sent this to me. I I instantly wanted to hear your reaction more than anything because like you have a very good pulse on just in general like Disney operations, the history of Disney, and in addition, obviously what they've been doing at EA. Like I watch and keep up from a distance, but I look at more of just like the products than I do how they run their business.
Right.
But that is also a leading indicator of that as well. Clearly, Disney has had a good relationship with EA. Some of the games that they have licensed out has been Disney-based IPs, and EA is a company that I would refer to as stable, but not the most progressive company. I would say either. They're not like the kind of company you look at that really is leading the game space either. Like they're consistent in what they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Disney needs a little consistency. Disney needs a little clarity.
Absolutely.
They need to find their step, and when they find their step, stick to it. They
Yep.
had that. They had that, and then they
Yeah.
screwed it up with JPEG. So what they don't need is to have somebody come into the parks and come into the business with the movies and say, I have all these ideas to turn the ship around and starts going radical with like changing everything.
Yeah.
You have to have changes. There's some things that need to be undone, and some things are going to take time to undo. From unfortunately the Chapek days, like just and we're seeing
Yeah.
that unravel even in front of us now. But as long as you have someone who's at the helm of the ship, who's consistent, says this is at the end of the day what we're reaching, and we're going to make sure we stick to this and keep everyone accountable, they're going to be fine. I don't know that this is the guy to do it, but there's parts of me that's optimistic and says maybe. I like that someone outside the Disney company. I like that if this is going to be the case, I don't necessarily feel like anybody from within is the right person right now. I don't. There's
I
nobody. When we
agree.
walked
Yeah,
over the
I
list
agree.
last time, I'm not saying that they aren't like on the outside looking in. I don't feel good about it. I like the idea of the board saying we have faith in someone coming in outside and really earning that trust of the consumer and everyone else, and bringing a new
Yeah.
perspective.
Other
Um,
than Josh, man, I don't think
yeah,
like I don't think Walden's a good fit. I don't
no,
think
I don't think so either.
and the ESPN dude. I think is
Yeah,
I don't know. Like there's some alarm bells going off there.
yeah,
But they could benefit from a fresh outlook. To be honest with you,
right.
they could benefit from someone coming in with fresh set of eyes. You know what? Not out of the question, dude. That that this could be a Pixar scenario where
Yeah,
like EA merges with Disney. Like there's a merger,
and
and
that's a
then
great
and
point.
then he
Iger's good at
ends,
negotiating those last
dude,
deals.
and he ends up being CEO, right? Just like when Pixar um merged with when the merger happened with Pixar and Steve Jobs came in as like a board member. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
people
it's
forget.
yeah, it could be happen like that. Like they could,
Wow.
there could be a Disney EA merger, and dude, EA owning Disney forever, bro. Like,
What about like they finally bring a Play Pavilion, but like EA's involved in like the
oh,
tech and stuff behind
bro,
it?
at this point, I don't care if it's EA.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think
dude,
I think it's solid.
EA could use that as a platform to like test out tech.
Correct.
Yeah, because
Wow.
that's what Epcot used to be. Like the uh, Sega had prototypes of stuff that got never released, dude.
Jeez.
When Sega was
Jeez.
there were 32X games that never came out, and
You had
there
to go
were
to the park to play it.
there were prototypes and never came out.
Wow.
So
That'd be
this would be a
amazing.
great opportunity for EA to come in and start prototyping stuff at a
Bring
park.
back Disney Quest, but it's EA Quest.
Bro. Hey, you know what?
I'm just giving you free stuff,
I'm not
Disney.
saying, yeah, EA, Disney, we're over here giving you free ideas,
Yeah.
I and again, based on Bob's track record, it's not out of the question. Like, it's not out of the question that a merger could happen.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
who knows? Who knows? Man, put it on the list, I guess.
I will. I'm adding
I don't
it.
have a timeline for it though, because it's big. This is big. This is a huge deal. I already failed on the Apple one. So yeah.